CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
We're going back to the exact same thing, the exact same conditions we left.
Tonight on CTV News, the teachers respond. We hear from local educators ahead of their return to the classroom. Thanks for joining us. In less than 12 hours, students and teachers will be back in Alberta classrooms, bringing an end to their 3-week teacher strike. The province's Bill 2 ordering them back to work and imposing a contract passed early this morning. CTV's Connor Hogg breaks down how teachers are feeling about the legislation forcing them back to the classroom.
Yesterday was a hard day for teachers in this province, and we have to recognize that, and we have to honor those feelings.
ATA President Jason Schilling says Alberta teachers have put everything on the line for 3 weeks and are unhappy with the way the strike ended.
The government just chose to legislate them back and to strip away their rights while doing it.
We're going back to the exact same thing, the exact same conditions we left.
Teachers Stephanie and Jeremy LaRose say they're excited to see their students again, but some of the reasons they rejected the province's last contract offer still exist. Class sizes will be too big, and while the province promised a task force to tackle the issue, they question how effective it will be.
How often are they going to meet? What is going to be the configuration of people on this task force deciding where the funds should be allocated?
The ATA says the province needs to include teachers as partners, not participants, and there is work to do to rebuild relationships.
The government is going to have to work on some trust issues, obviously, because my colleagues right now are not going to fundamentally trust what government has to say.
Teachers for too long have worried about being the vape police, have worried about being party planners, have worried about coaching and doing everything else, and maybe parents just want us to teach.
The LaRoses say Bill 2 will force teachers to uphold extracurricular commitments for the time being. But next year, they say some teachers may choose to rethink the amount of time they spend on things they don't get paid for. They expect to feel conflicted being back in the classroom.
Make it the safe space and the welcoming environment that we always do for our students.
I'm a social studies teacher. I'm supposed to go back and talk to my students about freedom and rights and all of this when mine have been trampled on as a teacher. That's going to be kind of tough.
Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The ATA says teachers will make up for lost time in the classroom. It says decisions like reducing the number of PD days or the length of November and December breaks is up to individual school boards. Edmonton Catholic has already postponed any professional development days between tomorrow and November the 17th. While teachers and students will be back in school tomorrow, the Alberta Teachers Association plans to fight Bill 2. Unions and the opposition NDP say the government's use of the notwithstanding clause could further erode workers' rights. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
If they're so proud of their legislation, then let us debate it. Let us speak.
The opposition delayed as long as it could, using all 3 hours the government allowed for debate. But early Tuesday morning, the legislature ordered teachers back to work.
Bill 2 is passed.
The legislation overrides teachers' constitutional right to strike and imposes an agreement on the union through 2028. It cites a section of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms called the Notwithstanding Clause that prevents legal challenges to the bill and limits strike or lockout rights.
It's a matter of allowing government to remove people's rights as barriers to their own policy agenda. That's something we haven't seen anywhere in Canada.
Mr. Speaker, we respect teachers' rights to strike. You just witnessed the longest education strike in Canadian history.
I'm comfortable that the kids will be going back so that they can have that routine, have that structure, continue with their academics and their social development.
The government shows no sign of backing down, so the teachers' union is bracing for a battle, though its lawyers are still analyzing what is possible given the limitations.
We will leave no stone unturned to try to get government to reverse this decision that they made to invoke the notwithstanding clause.
President Jason Schilling says he's getting supportive messages from unions across Canada. One political scientist says in the meantime, it's up to Albertans to pressure the government to change course.
That's where we're at right now. We're at the does Alberta care about removing fundamental rights that are enshrined in the Charter?
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta has used the notwithstanding clause once before. That was back in 2000 when the Progressive Conservatives used it in relation to the federal government's Marriage Act. The Supreme Court eventually ruled that it wasn't applicable. Now, this Thursday, teachers may face empty classes with no kids to teach, as students across our province have organized a large-scale walkout to protest how the province ended the strike. The movement started with just a few schools and has now ballooned to more than 30. That includes schools in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, and Calgary, amongst others. Organizers say they're standing in solidarity with their teachers.
We are the future doctors, future lawyers, future politicians of the world, and if we don't have a stable and healthy learning environment, then we will not be successful.
The walkouts range in scale by location. Some are scheduled for a couple of hours, while others through the majority of the school day. Some students will hold a sit-in option where they'll stay in class but refuse to do any schoolwork. The Forever Canadian petition asking if Alberta should remain a part of Canada has overwhelmingly surpassed the 300,000 signatures that it required. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, the citizen-led petition is now in the hands of Elections Alberta for verification.
Thomas Lukazik unloads the final 2 boxes containing Forever Canadian petitions signed by Albertans who want to stay part of Canada.
We're proud Albertans, and you know, there's a faction of the society out there that wants to take that away from us. They want us to leave Canada, and that's not going to happen.
There's just no question that Alberta is an important part of Canada, and to have that questioned is really threatening to us.
Lukazik and thousands of volunteers set out in August to collect the 294,000 signatures needed to initiate a possible referendum.
In a short period of time, 365,000 Albertans have decided that our future, Alberta's future, lies in Canada.
About 164,000 more signatures than needed.
Albertans have awoken. They have found their voice.
The petition is a first for Elections Alberta under the Citizen Initiative Act.
So the process that we have in place at Elections Alberta is to walk through each of those signatures and ensure that they do meet the Citizen Initiative Act.
They've hired and trained 100 people to cover shifts 7 days a week to work in pairs for accuracy. Once verified, it goes to a legislative committee for review, who will make recommendations to government or suggest a referendum go ahead.
We're asking the Premier to do the right thing and ask Alberta MLAs to vote on this issue and put separatism to bed once and for all.
CTV News reached out to the Premier's office for comment. Alberta's Justice Minister replied, congratulating the group for collecting so many signatures, adding once it's verified, they'll decide how to proceed under the legislation. Elections Alberta now has 60 days to verify the signatures. Results will be released to the public in early January. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta's new license plate slogan could be facing trouble over a trademark. The province plans to replace Wild Rose Country with Strong and Free. But as CTV's Nicole Weisberg explains, a New Brunswick woman has owned the trademark for the term for nearly 20 years.
I just love to see Canadians standing up and waving the Canadian flag.
New Brunswicker Denise Dow is a proud Canadian. So much so, 18 years ago, she decided to tie her livelihood to it, trademarking the phrase strong and free, heard in the national anthem, for merchandise use.
I establish relationships with Canadian manufacturers, as you'll see on my webpage. There's half a dozen there. And they all provide the product, sell the product, and they pay me a royalty for the use of the logos.
She says last week, people familiar with her brand began reaching out to tell her about the Alberta government's license plate plans.
I talked to my trademark office, and the best case scenario is that we come to an agreement.
Details of Dow's trademark include license plates of metal, so she believes charging a nominal fee is reasonable and has an idea of directing some money to an Alberta charity.
I'm not looking for a battle. I want it to be a win-win.
We've spoken to our lawyers about it. There's no copyright infringement. Let's be clear, this is the Alberta motto. It's on our crest. Alberta strong and free.
While the Service Alberta minister insists there is no issue, this trademark lawyer says it could be argued in court.
You know, even a public body like the provincial government can infringe a private trademark.
However, Robert Nissen says the government could make a number of arguments. The number one, he says, would be saying this is ornamental use instead of trademark use.
You can only buy them from a registry, from essentially agents of the government. And so it's not like you would pick a license plate because it says strong and free.
In that case, he says Dow could argue this depreciates the value of her brand. She hopes it doesn't come to that.
I just believe that, they would do the right thing.
Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Edmonton Chamber of Commerce has released its 2025 State of Economy report. The report highlights where Edmonton is performing strongly and where the city can improve. That includes adjustments to taxes to attract more businesses to the city. Another challenge that it notes is the slowdown of job growth. The Chamber says it wants practical options to improve Edmonton's sustainability and competitiveness within 24 months.
We're calling on Mayor Knack and the new City Council to establish the Mayor's Fiscal Task Force as soon as possible, and I would hope that it's going to be in the next 100 days of their activity.
The Chamber will host a luncheon and conversation to go over the report on November 7th. A community is coming together to help a family that's been forced out of their home after it burned because of fireworks. CTV's Merrick Takash has the story.
Work is underway to fix Travis Kammerer's home after sparks from fireworks caused a fire in his garage last week.
We got a full scope of how much work is going to be involved in repairing the home and how much damage to the inside contents. We got a bit of a scope of that yesterday, and it's quite a bit.
The family's car was torched by flames. The neighboring house was also damaged. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services estimates the fire caused about $175,000 worth of damage. While waiting for insurance funds, Kammerer started a GoFundMe.
Donations range from like $10 and to $100, and and one gentleman, I'm going to try to locate him. He donated $500 to my family. I don't know what to say to that.
Verinder Buller lives a few blocks away. He says he was devastated when he heard the news.
I was heartbroken to see how one person's celebrations could become other person's nightmare.
Buller asked his friends and family to help.
When I put an appeal out there, I told people we need 200 people who can donate like $20 each. That was the initial goal that we set it up.
Kammerer says it could be 6 months before his family is allowed to move back in. He says he is grateful for the support of the community.
We've had strangers offer us their homes, their vehicles. It's a little bit overwhelming.
3 people are facing criminal charges in relation to the fire. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
The RCMP detachment in Sherwood Park has reopened after someone brought in a suspected explosive. Last night, RCMP say a member of the public brought an apparent explosive device to the detachment for disposal. The area was locked down until late this morning. The item, which RCMP believe is an old military ordnance, has been removed and the detachment is now operating as usual. RCMP is reminding anyone who finds something they believe to be an explosive to call 911 and not to handle the device. The second phase of ticket sales for the FIFA World Cup is underway, with another 1 million tickets up for grabs. The draw runs until Friday morning at 8 o'clock our time and includes a domestic exclusivity time slot for fans from the 3 host countries. This gives fans from Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. first dibs on single match tickets for games in their own country. Just ahead, local reaction to Hurricane Melissa. Many Edmontonians with ties to Jamaica worry about family on the island nation. Plus, restricted or restructured recruitment. The Golden Bears hockey alumni finding ways to bring players to the U of A.
We want to make sure that we help the team and we help the university get word out about this amazing program.
Good evening, folks. 8 degrees for a daytime high today. Should be a little bit warmer tomorrow, into double digits in the afternoon. Could see a few scattered showers in the morning, though. We'll get into that and the rest of your 5 and 10 day forecast in a couple minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. It's being called the strongest storm to ever hit Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa touched down on the island nation earlier today. Members of the Jamaican community here in Edmonton are worried for their family back home. CTV's Gates Guarin has more.
As Tracy Ann Beckford-Aird preps for the incoming lunch rush at a Yamadé Jamaican restaurant, her mind is somewhere else. News of Hurricane Melissa touching down in Jamaica has her thinking about her family back home.
We keep listening to the news, every update, but it's gonna be really bad. I remember 1988 Gilbert, I was 10 years old then, and it was bad, and this one is like category 5. Gilbert was category 3, this one is 5, so it's gonna be way worse.
She says her family is sheltering in place and doing what they can to stay safe, while she does what she can to keep in touch.
Sometimes the communication will get cut off because when the light is out, it will cut off, but after we can hear from them after.
She says it's hard to be so far away from them, knowing there isn't much she or anyone can do while the storm continues. The U.S. National Hurricane Center estimated maximum sustained winds of 295 kilometers an hour when the hurricane made landfall. The Category 5 storm is expected to be one of the most powerful hurricane landfalls on record in the Atlantic Basin.
Well, we are all worried and scared, and we're sitting by the phone and sitting by the TV, and we're watching and we're open and praying day and night that this thing don't happen.
James Scott owns the grocery store next door. He's calling for his fellow community members to step up. He's pledged to donate $1 million Jamaican dollars, or more than 8,600 Canadian.
When we see stuff like this happening to your motherland, where you're from, it hurts. And you have to do as much as you can to help, and help the government and help the people.
Beckford-Aird says Jamaicans are resilient.
We know that we can do it. We can do it. And we are people that when things happen, we will bounce back. It will take time, but we will come back.
And will weather the storm in front of them. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some University of Alberta Golden Bears alumni are teaming up to help their former program. New recruiting rules for college universities have some Canadian players heading down south. As CTV's Naramanisa reports, alumni are challenging hockey players to look at Edmonton, asking, do you have what it takes to be a Golden Bear?
Rick Peterson sits in the stands at the University of Alberta's Claire Drake Arena. Long gone are the days when he suited up for the U of A.
So I played on the Bears between 72 and 76, and we won the Nationals in 74, 75.
He's now sharing his experience with a new crop of players.
This is more than just a winning team. These are values that are going to stay with you all your life, and this is a winning attitude that's going to stay with you in every single thing you do.
Golden Bears alumni have launched a social media campaign aimed at junior hockey players.
We're saying, you got what it takes to be a Golden Bear, right? Do you have what it takes to be here and to be part of what we've built here?
The initiative comes after the NCAA changed its rules regarding recruiting and now allows players in Canada's 3 major junior leagues to compete at American colleges.
There's going to be a lot of players, I think, initially that want to give NCAA a go, no matter what. But I think there's also players, especially local players, that may want to come back.
One of those players is Aiden Yakimchuk. The defenseman spent 3 years playing in the NCAA before signing with the hometown team.
Just playing in St. Louis area, it was kind of a trek to get out there. So it's nice that they get to come out to a few games and I get to play in front of my family instead of just on TV.
Peterson hopes players realize the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the border.
We want them to come here and be a Golden Bear and stay a Golden Bear all your life.
A hockey bond that can't be broken even after hanging up the skates. Nairm Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
After the break, a spooky season spectacle. Revisit a local Halloween castle.
It's gotten bigger every year. I'm not sure how we're going to top this one.
Wednesday, the city will swear in its new mayor and city council. What you need to know, plus how big of a problem are porcupines in our city, and how to avoid you or your pet getting killed.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by Superheroes and Blockbusters with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. Temperatures stayed just above the freezing mark early this morning and will likely stay just slightly above zero again early tomorrow morning. -2 the average morning low, 5 degrees the average daytime high. We were 3 degrees above that today. Should be 10 or 11 for a daytime high tomorrow, so a handful of degrees above average. There's your chance of some scattered showers here through the early morning hours in and around the Edmonton area. It doesn't look like it's going to amount to all that much, but maybe enough to wet the ground. Snow further north from around high level, southeast through the Fort McMurray Cold Lake regions. And then as this area of low pressure really starts to get going and the rainfall becomes a little more organized, most, if not all of that, will be east of the Edmonton region. So midday, you get some periods of rain through areas around Vermilion, Lloydminster, Vegreville, down through the Wainwright, Coronation areas. North of Highway 16, you run the chance of seeing some wet snow. By supper time, though, that should all be mostly off into Saskatchewan. Here in Edmonton, we'll be under a mix of sun and cloud through most of the daytime hours tomorrow, and then partly cloudy skies on Thursday, and probably a degree or two cooler Thursday. -4s, -5s across east central and northeastern Alberta tomorrow morning. 4 degrees on the other side of zero in Jasper, and we'll stay around 2 degrees tomorrow morning. 2 for a high in Fort McMurray. There's your chance of snow. Fort McMurray, high level. Rain, snow mixed for Lac La Biche, Cold Lake. And then Vegreville and Lloydminster areas is a better chance of rain than snow. 9, 10-degree highs for Whitecourt, Edson, about 12 or 13 into Red Deer. And here in Edmonton, we should get to 10 or 11 degrees for a daytime high. Chance of a scattered shower in the morning, and then a mix of sun and cloud and relatively light wind through the afternoon. 8 to 10-degree range for highs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Chance of some late-day showers on Halloween, possibly changing over to a little bit of a rain-snow mix there in the evening. And then don't forget it's time change this weekend as clocks go back 1 hour. Long-range forecast has daytime highs next week, still above average and in the 5 to 8-degree range. That is your forecast.
A family in northeast Edmonton is taking Halloween to the next level.
The wind howled and the bats swore.
A haunted castle stands in the front lawn of Dave and Tammy Iwanix. Their home is located in the northeast neighborhood of Beacon Heights. It took the couple 7 weeks to build and decorate this spooky display. The castle is more than 6 meters long and 3 meters high.
It's gotten bigger every year. I'm not sure how we're going to top this one because it's pretty much the whole front yard.
The way their eyes light up and, it's like in awe and amazement. And the kids are like laughing and enjoying themselves and having fun. That's Halloween.
The couple is asking trick-or-treaters for food bank donations to enter the castle. Speaking of Halloween, many children look forward to the holiday in trick-or-treating, but it can be difficult for children that suffer from neurodiversity. Less due to the frightening costumes and more so to overstimulation from the heightened sights and sounds of the evening. With that in mind, Children's Autism Services of Edmonton hosted an evening of practicing trick-or-treating, helping to prepare the kids for Halloween. The event featured both experts and families of autistic children that offered tips based on their lived experiences.
They get to
go to a house, and we have it set up so it shows lights on or lights off. And if it's showing lights on, they knock on the door, they wait for the door to be open, they practice saying trick or treat or using a computer to say trick or treat. Then they get their candy, they say thank you, and they go to the next house.
Duncan adds that this event has been a success due to the confidence it gives kids ahead of Halloween. All right, that's all from us on this Tuesday. Thanks for wrapping up your day with us on CTV Edmonton. We appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, take care and goodbye for now.